The following podcast may contain adult language and an abundance of salt, so get ready to release the Kraken, because we're talking Greek mythology movies. Welcome and thank you for joining us today on the Salty Nerd Podcast. We're going to be talking about Greek mythology movies, Hercules, Immortals, and Clash of the Titans. And I'm joined as always by my fantastic panel of nerds, starting with the barbarian space Viking who's rocking a very controversial shirt today. Klingon Lives Matter. Available on our store, saltynerdstore.com.
It's controversial.
It is very controversial. I made that.
Yeah,
I told you to.
No one cares about Klingon lives.
I'm very Star Trek-y today. I got my convention hat on and my Star Trek shirt.
There you go.
Good.
And we're thanks, Jude.
Jude's here.
You are too. Jude's got really long red hair.
Welcome. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Did you just growl at her? What's going on right now?
How you doing?
It's just a natural noise that he makes when he gets near. It's mating season.
Oh my God.
Red hair. Pumpkin spice season.
It gets him crazy.
He goes nuts for the redheads during pumpkin spice season. You like that pumpkin spice, don't you?
I love some pumpkin
Those
spice.
gingers are going to get it. I'm wearing a new t-shirt too.
Yes. What are you looking at, Dick Nose?
I love it.
That is a classic
Be
from
careful, I might want to suck it or something.
from Wolf Cop.
My nose?
Oh,
You are a freak.
I know, right? I've sucked the nose before. My wife hates it when I want to suck her nose.
Oh my God.
Can I suck your nose?
Kadish is here as well. Welcome, sir.
Oh, this is going to be a fun one.
Hell
I can
yeah.
tell right away.
All right, everybody. Listen, before we dive into these movies, just want to let everybody know, become a club member. It is amazing. We have a huge community over there on Discord. Lots of fun people to hang out with and talk to. They get to tell us what they want us to watch and let us know what they think of the podcast. You get 4 exclusive episodes every single month where it's members only, spoiler heavy reviews where we are the most raw, unfiltered that we could possibly be, only for our members, so we don't have to worry about being taken down by YouTube or Spotify or the tech overlords. We have a ton of fun, guys. Join the club, help support us. And
Big backlog over there.
yeah, we have a huge backlog of the last 2 years of content that we've just been like, we can't release that. That's club member stuff.
Blooper reels?
Yep, outtake reels. And we're not talking like, oh, I messed up my line. No, it's like we just go off on random tangents about sucking dick and stuff. It's crazy.
Whoa, out of context there, buddy.
It's hilarious.
Y'all do it however you do it. Everybody has their own way.
Sucking noses, sucking dicks.
Whatever, we just talk
Yeah.
about crazy shit. Yeah, go over, become a club member. You get access to all kinds of really cool stuff.
We're really dirty today.
Join the community. And we're going to take a quick break, listen to some sponsors. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. All right, the first movie on our list today is Hercules, starring Dwayne The Rock Johnson and pretty much everybody else in Hollywood. Jude, take it away. What is this movie all about?
Okay, 2014 Hercules, rated PG-13 with a runtime of 1 hour 38 minutes. This had a budget of $100 million. What do you think this brought into the box office?
180.
$212 million. I don't know what.
That's a very fine answer. $244.8 million worldwide.
That is
Worldwide? Wow,
Worldwide.
that's terrible.
That is the rock factor.
Yes, 100%. That is Dwayne The Rock Johnson on the billboard. That's what that money was from. I hope he got paid for this movie.
Well, actually, like this was way before The Rock was a headliner.
You think so?
No.
I don't know about that.
Bullshit.
No. That's
2014?
absolutely not.
No way.
Yeah.
No, like he didn't really start blowing up until he started doing the Fast and Furious movies. So like,
What? I don't know if I buy that.
Not at all.
Yeah,
Come on, man.
I have to disagree with you on that
May
one.
you guys are free to be wrong.
Oh my God. Yes, Jude, take it away.
Hercules, the man, the myth, the rock, the demigod? Who's to say? Hercules and his band of merry men are hired as mercenaries to train the army of Thrace. But Hercules smells bullshit in Lord Codus's story. If he's the good guy, then how come his people are fighting against... shit, it's a trap.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. Okay, so my opening thoughts for this movie is like, all right, let's take a really cool Greek mythology movie
And
with
shit on it.
with all these monsters and epicness and all that and make it really boring.
Yeah. Let's take the god out of the demigod.
Yeah.
And just make him mysterious.
And let's take the monsters out of the mythology and just make them like normal people riding horses.
Okay. I watched this movie first of the 3 movies that we're going to talk about
Oh,
today.
really? I watched it last.
I watched it first.
Okay.
And I hated it.
Uh-huh.
And now I realize it's the best of all 3 movies
How
we're going
dare
to talk
you?
about today.
No, this is terrible. This is
You're terrible.
garbage, boring ass movie. And it's like the only thing that's fun about it is watching the greasiness of The Rock just kicking ass.
You're a garbage ass movie.
Yeah, you don't know what's
This
good.
is terrible. They took all the cool shit out of it. Oh, that badass 3-headed dog from Hades. And it's just 3 regular dogs. It's stupid. Oh, the centaurs. Oh, we gotta fight an army of centaurs. No, it's just guys on horses.
Listen,
It's
I knew
like, come
when,
on.
I don't even know what to say.
when I saw it was PG-13, I was like, oh, this is going to suck.
Yeah.
So here's what I remember.
And that was our
And
review
we
of
got
Hercules.
discount like Nicole Kidman. I that was weird.
Discount Nicole Kidman?
Yeah, I thought that was
Which
Nicole
one was
Kidman.
that?
The
The archer
Amazonian archer chick.
Atlantia.
Atlantia. I thought for sure that was Nicole Kidman for like 20 minutes, and I was like, wait a second, that's not her.
No, it's just a Swedish model.
Well, I mean, she's very pretty, but I thought she was Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Vader. Why do you like this movie?
I don't know. I just do. I like it. It's of all the movies the 3 movies we watched this week, this one seemed at least the most in touch with itself, I think.
Because it was campy.
Yeah.
It didn't take itself seriously.
It was in on its own joke, and I appreciated that. It was The Rock being Rock and doing the Rock things as Hercules.
That lion hat was just
Yeah, dude.
it looks like Davy Crockett.
No, and that lion hat was epic,
No.
sir. You know,
No,
so-
because
As we discussed today, the hats are going to get worse.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The thing, going back to Kadish saying this is when The Rock blew up. This might have been when his Instagram blew up, because what I remember about when they were filming this movie, The Rock was like hitting the weights super hard.
Yeah.
I mean, he blew up. I bet he gained 60 pounds for this movie, putting on nothing but muscle. And I remember very specifically my wife, who likes The Rock, she'd be going, Jesus, look at The Rock's Instagram right now. And you see him like pulling trucks with like 80,000 pounds of chains draped over his chest as he's working out in his gym and shit,
Yeah.
and he's like, I gotta get ready for Hercules, he sold the role. I don't know. I enjoyed this movie. It was fun. I don't care if it didn't have, centaurs and Cerberuses and all this other stuff in it, but I enjoyed the story. I liked how it was campy in parts. It was campy right from the get-go, so there was no questioning what kind of a movie you were watching, with his nephew telling the story over the spike over his butt, and it was a comic book is what it reminded me of. And as long as I'm getting that sold to me from the beginning, and it stays in that same kind of vein and path through the show, I'm okay with it. It didn't bother me, and I thought they stayed right on track through this whole thing.
All right.
So,
Jude, what are your opening thoughts on this one?
So this had the least amount of rape in it, so I'm on board with that. I did do a quick IMDb perusal while Vader was speaking, and it just really makes me happy to say that Kadish is wrong.
oh yeah, he's totally wrong on
Because
this
he
one.
did Fast and Furious before this, and then he also did a bunch of other movies prior to this. But I will say that this is probably the first movie that he was the star of that was a big
It's
budget
his movie?
blockbuster movie. Yeah. So I guess we can all be right. I don't know. I thought it was boring.
Yeah.
I thought it was cheesy and not in the way that I like. I didn't like that they took the fantastical element out of it. He was just like some really tough mercenary guy, not a demigod. That blows.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't want
was
that kind of
He was a
Hercules.
demigod.
No, throughout the whole movie, they're like, "Is he a god?"
He's playing it down.
Maybe. No, the whole movie they're trying to like take the fantastical element out of this movie, and it irked me. I didn't
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah, I'm
He
with
was-
Jude on that
and-
one.
He was trying
basically-
to come to grips with who he was.
So you think he
You
was...
watched
He
an
is a
entirely
demigod.
different
No, I did
movie.
not.
The dude had to amp him up. He's in the cage.
At the
Remember
end.
who you are. You are
Yeah,
Hercules. And then
yeah.
he like rips the things out of the ground. Like,
Believe your own lore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
normal people don't do that.
okay. Kadish, what are your thoughts on this one?
All right, so I have an inherent bias against this movie because it's a Brett Ratner film, and I hate Brett
Of
Ratner.
course he hates the director.
which is kind of weird because like Brett Ratner's actually made a lot of movies I've enjoyed, but like I ran into him a few times in Hollywood and he was such a douche. And he's one of those guys who always had like 3 or 4 girls around him and just like smarmy, and I don't like him.
What'd you think about the movie though?
Well, I'm getting to that.
Oh, okay.
So Brett Ratner, I don't feel like he's a very good director, but he seems to luck into a lot of like decent enough scripts. With this movie, so Vader, it's actually based on a comic book.
I'm aware.
Yeah, it was called Hercules: The Thracian Wars, and it was written by a guy named Steve Moore, who was Alan Moore's kind of mentor, I guess. And Steve Moore was so pissed off about how they were adapting his comic book that he had his name taken off the credits, and then he died like three weeks before the movie was set to release, and the studio started like being like, oh, like this is dedicated to Steve Moore and all this other stuff, and Alan Moore had to come out and be like, dude, like this is like you're exploiting this guy's death who didn't want anything to do with this movie to promote this movie that he didn't want anything to do with. So it was kind of like a shitty thing. But so in the comic book, all the mythology is there. Hercules is a demigod and he's fighting these monsters and stuff along those lines. And in the movie, the big change that they made was that the stories surrounding the legend of Hercules are all embellished. And when you see him actually doing this stuff, it's all kind of grounded in reality. Like the Hydras were just
dudes in skin hats.
Dudes in skin hats or snake helmets.
Yeah.
The centaurs are just men riding horses because that wasn't very common at the time, I guess. I don't know. But, so like there's a lot of stuff in there where you see the reality behind the legend. And I found that actually kind of interesting, but that wasn't from the original comic book. And that was one of the things that Steve Moore had a problem with. But overall, like I actually think this movie is like quite enjoyable. It's got like the core group of mercenaries and very good actors playing it. Like you got Rufus Sewell, who plays Autocles, who's like Hercules' best friend. And then you got Ian McShane in this, who just steals every scene that he's in.
He really does.
The cast is fantastic.
Yeah. And the cast is really good. And it's kind of funny because as we're talking about all 3 of these movies today, we're going to see that there's a lot of crossover. Like John Hurt, he plays the evil king in this movie, but he also plays the old Zeus in Immortals.
Yeah.
And so like you start seeing, and Joseph Fiennes plays the bad king Eurystheus.
I can't say any of the names. I'm not even going to try.
Yeah, I'm.
Papa, please.
Yeah, I have a hard time pronouncing names that are simple.
Fuzzy Slippers, King Fuzzy Slippers.
I got a lot of scratch please.
And so Joseph Fiennes, who plays the evil king as well, the second evil king, his brother plays Hades in Clash of the Titans and stuff like that. So it's kind of funny to see like the different crossovers here. But one of the interesting things about this movie is at the time it was one of 2 competing Hercules movies. So there was another Hercules movies that came out at the exact same time, which was a huge flop, and it was called what was it? The Legend of Hercules. And
wasn't that animated?
No, it was live action. It starred Kellen Lutz
But it was a Hercules movie called The Legend of Hercules.
Yeah, and it starred Kellen Lutz from Twilight as Hercules. And it was supposed to be his big breakout leading man role, and it just bombed so hard that it almost destroyed his career.
He went up against Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yeah.
Good luck.
But the funny thing is like he was in Immortals as Poseidon. Kellen Lutz was.
Well, it shouldn't have been that big a deal because this was like Dwayne Johnson's first movie.
But the Legend of Hercules, it was directed by Rennie Harlan, who did like The Long Kiss Goodnight and Cutthroat Island and stuff like that. Predator 2. Around this time, like I said, The Rock wasn't The Rock in terms of like the movie business. So both of these movies kind of underperformed, but this was the better of the 2. Fun fact, if you guys want to know this. So The Rock's beard in this is actually a fake beard.
Well, no shit.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
He didn't actually have long hair?
Guess what his fake beard was made out of?
Pubes from virgins.
Close. Yak pubes.
Yes.
I should just quit with pubes.
Do you not like
Or
that
virgin yaks.
yeah, those virgins and those yaks had never been. What
You know, you just like a sandwich so much more when nobody's.
Yeah, no, but what do they call it in the defiled? Those yaks had never been defiled.
There you go.
Is pubes a bad word?
I don't know.
No,
It's funny though.
Is it like you don't like
more
the word?
funny.
You don't like pubes? Is that a weird word?
It's like moist.
So,
I
yeah.
have no feelings about pubes.
What
Okay.
about moist pubes? What?
Oh, that's gross.
But one of the things that
I
angers
don't
me
want
about
dry pubes.
one of the things that angers me about this movie is the fact that Robert Rodriguez was really set to direct it.
That would have been better.
Oh man, that would have made it way better.
I might have liked it then.
Yeah, Brett Ratner took over.
Well, they freaking handicapped this with a PG-13 rating, but
I
then
was just
to
gonna
make
say.
it edgy, they slipped an F-bomb in there at like the
You
worst
get
time.
one. You get one.
You get
F-bomb
one F-bomb for a
the
PG-13. Yeah. Remember when he flips the guy's horse over and he goes,
Fucking centaurs.
it is the worst use of an F word I have ever seen
That
in a
is
movie.
the worst use of a centaur I've ever seen in my entire life.
Also that. This movie is garbage.
No,
I love The Rock. I love the cast, but the movie itself is just dull, boring.
The Rock could have been better because
All
you
of
know
those things.
it was his first movie. So
It's not his first movie.
He just keeps poking at that until it goes off. It's like a freaking,
You're gonna get a comeuppance.
he's going to get come up.
I
No,
don't care, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I have to disagree with Vader. I don't know what you were watching, dude. But
I
this,
just enjoyed this movie.
okay, all right.
After watching the other two movies we watched, this one seems like a masterpiece.
I completely
Maybe
disagree.
the order has.
Could be
Yeah.
because I watched Clash and then
Okay.
I watched.
I probably would have loved this had I watched it last.
Probably.
Well, I had seen all these movies beforehand, and I have to agree with Vader.
Well, babe,
This
you're
is
in
the-
like a different level of movie watching than the rest of us.
Yeah, this is true. But I agree with Vader. This is the most entertaining of the three that we watched this
That's
week.
I agree.
All right.
I didn't say it's the best movie ever made, but of the ones we watched, whose idea was this? Was this a
I
salty week?
don't know.
Oh yeah, this was my mythology week. Yeah, I was in.
Oh, fuck you.
Like, so Kadish's band, your band.
I'm banned.
Your band.
I'm
the
banned
only
except
one.
for August.
I'm the only one. I'm the only one picking movies from this day forward. Okay.
Space
I
sweepers,
feel,
my ass.
I feel like I could trust you.
All
No,
right.
I actually really like this theme this week. I like some good Greek.
I do
movies.
too.
I had a really hard time this week.
These-
I
these-
hated this week.
These movies aren't great, but I still had a really good time watching them. It was fine.
What's your is there a moment in this movie that you were like, hell yeah, like that what was it that you enjoyed so much about it? Was just the action? Just
You know, my favorite scene in this movie is the first big battle they have with all the weirdos,
with the green people?
with the green dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
It was brutal.
It was very comic booky. It was very, you know, it was just I just had fun with this movie. I don't really know what else to say about it. It's not a good movie. Don't get me wrong. It's not great, but you know, if you want to see The Rock
Doing some rock
swinging
shit.
swords around and stuff and throwing boulders on people and whatever, you know, this is fine, you know. So, and what's his name? John Hurt.
John Hurt?
John Hurt. He's in all these movies, like Kadish said. I like him. I like movies he's in for some reason. I'm learning that this guy has like been in everything.
Well, yeah.
He was
very
even,
famous.
He was even in he can play. He always plays like bearded stoic rulers.
Yeah,
whether it's a Viking or a Greek dude or he's in a ton of stuff. I was shocked at how much stuff he's like Lance Henriksen. He's
You know
like
what I
in
don't
everything.
don't buy about him though? He's so frail.
Yeah.
When he talks, Hercules, what are you doing? I'm like, can you have a voice? Like, is there anything in your gut that you can
But
kind of
that's-
project? It's just,
that's kind of why people like him.
I
think.
know, I get that.
I mean,
but
that's John Hurt.
I know, I know.
That's
but
why you
in-
cast him.
In
Right.
some roles,
He's
it
very
works.
wise. He comes off very wise.
Yes, in some like the Yoda role, I could see him as like a Yoda type, but as like a big mean king who's going to take over the world, like no.
Well, well, they wanted to kind of misdirect you and make you think, oh, this is a good king at
Yeah.
first.
Well,
And-
they did. They fooled me at first because this was a first watch for me. I didn't watch this one.
Me too.
It's just not something I'm going to go waste theater money on. But they bait and switched me with him. They didn't like make it obvious like they did with a lot of other movies because I'm just so used to him being
The good guy.
a good guy,
Yeah.
right? So like, oh, John Hurt's going to be the bad dude. What? Yeah, it was weird.
What'd you think of the crazy Viking guy?
I loved him, the little berserker dude.
Yeah, the little berserker
Yeah,
guy.
he was. In fact, he was probably my favorite of the
Just crazy.
of the entourage. Him and Ian McShane for sure.
So
Yeah.
in the comic book, that guy was actually a cannibal.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
See, they nerfed it again. That would have been so much more badass. If he was just he took one of the guys, the green dude's legs, he was just sitting there gnawing on it or something like that. That would be like,
I would have liked to have seen.
oh shit.
I would have liked to have seen a rated R version of this. It
Yes.
probably would have been a lot better.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, a lot more boobies.
Give me a couple boobs. You know,
They didn't have any boobs. Oh, there was a
it's PG-13. There's no
yeah,
boobs.
but there was some like
underside
very
boob, a little.
flowy like silk dress boobs.
Yeah, well, Greek girls are hot.
Was that this movie?
Greek movie
I don't
girls.
think so.
But yeah, I don't know.
Maybe that was another one we watched. Anyway, all right. Well, do you want to do final thoughts and just give it a rating?
Are
real
we
quick?
there already? On
I
this one?
don't know what else we want to say about this movie. I mean, you think it's great.
It's the Rock. I don't think it's great. I think it's passable.
Okay.
Of the movies we watched this week, it's the best.
Okay.
It's the Rock being all muscly and rock and with a weird beard. I think the Rock with the beard is weird.
Well, it's
I
obviously
made a
fake.
rhyme there. Did you see that? The Rock with the beard is weird. It's very Dr. Seussy.
Okay.
Just like a dick, all right? Jesus.
Keep going. Go ahead.
I don't know.
The floor is yours,
No,
sir.
Now I'm lost.
All right. Well, star rating.
Are we final thoughting?
Sure, yeah.
I'm going to give this so this is the best of the week that we watched. So I'm going to give it a 2.5.
Oh, okay.
In my head, when you said best of the week, I spelled it WEAK.
Yes, that's very true. That's very true. Salty's mythological.
I was like, no, yeah,
Zeus
that's
week.
accurate. It's best of these weak ass movies.
This was a weak ass movie. They took all the good stuff out of it. Jude.
Yeah.
At what point were you like, fuck this movie?
I don't think it was very far into it. By the time they got to that first battle with the
green people?
green people, I was like, oh, yeah, no, that dude's a bad dude. That's why. And so I kind of knew everything that was going to happen from then on. I just wasn't sure if the daughter was in on it. But then I guess I was like, she's got that kid. Meh, she's probably not in on it.
Oh, I completely forgot about
And
her.
I just didn't even care. I didn't care at all. And it was really boring. I wish that I had watched it last because I hate watched one of these like angrily. And I wish that I had had this to go to after that. And I would probably be easier on it had I watched it in that order.
Huh.
Vader's right. It's the best of these movies that we have watched this week.
Guys are crazy.
That being said, it's still not a good movie. I'm going to give it 2 out of 5 dumb movies.
All right. Kadish, I'm assuming you have more to say. Do you have did you, I can't remember if you liked this movie or not. Did you actually like the movie despite the director or?
So I'm torn on this.
Okay.
Because I did enjoy the movie, at least in conjunction with the other 2 movies we watched. But I remember when I first watched this film back in 2014 that I was surprised at how enjoyable it was. But I can never give a Brett Ratner film a good rating just on principle. But I did enjoy The Rock on it. I thought Ian McShane was great. Like there's that scene, like Ian McShane's character is like a seer and he knows like how he's going to die. And so like he goes into battles and he just doesn't give a fuck because like he's like, I know I'm going to die and I'm not going to die here.
Yeah.
So he just like fights with reckless abandon. And throughout the movie, there are these moments where he's like, you know, my heart is pierced by a flaming spear and that's how I know I'm going to die. And so there are all these moments where like a flaming spear is like headed right towards him and he's like, this is my moment. And then like Hercules will just grab it and like throw it back at the guy who threw it.
Damn it, man.
Yeah. He's like, that was my moment. Or I like the moment where they had the arrows flying and he just put his hands out and he gave up and then he opened his eyes and like, oh, well, I guess that wasn't it. Yeah. And then he just kept going. Like there's funny moments to this movie. I was just really.
Yeah. And you don't know if he's like an actual seer or if he's just crazy.
Well, didn't they say he was high at one point? He was like eating some herbs or something like that. Those herbs are real strong, aren't they? He was like he was rambling off about something.
But anytime Ian McShane is in anything, like he elevates it, you know, like he's such a good actor and he's got such gravitas to him.
Yeah.
And Rufus Sewell was also really good.
Guy.
Yeah. Like he was really good in this. Like everyone was really good in this movie. Like there's nothing I can really say to be like, oh, this movie was crap or like whatever, other than the fact that Brett Ratner was involved. So because of that, I'm giving it 2 stars, even though it's probably deserves 3.
You guys are crazy. This movie's a 1-star crap fest.
We have a very
This is
scientific
terrible.
method here.
This is terrible. They took everything that was cool about Greek mythology out of this movie.
This is not a 1-star crap fest.
It's a PG-13 rock movie.
Did you want to like just go throw rocks at a wall when you were done watching it?
No, but I was just so bored. I'm like, he's not really Hercules, or is he? I don't know.
He is Hercules.
He doesn't really say he is. He does some things, but he's also mortal. He can die.
He
Like,
literally
just,
at the end of the movie, he says, "I am Hercules."
I think Jude's right. I think he's just buying into his own legend. His cousin's stories or whatever. We're like, oh yeah, that guy's right.
Well, that was his character arc, though. That was like he starts off as just a mortal man, and then like he eventually ascends into embracing his legend. That was his character arc.
The ending battle where I'm like, oh, he's gonna go fight the army and kill the king, and he just like pushes over a big statue.
Well,
He's
he
like,
burns them all.
He pushed over a statue of Hera, who was like the goddess who wanted him dead. So in a way, it was
yeah,
like,
but she never showed up.
well, yeah, because like they kept things kind of like nebulous as to like whether or not the mythology stuff was true or
It
not.
was a metaphor.
But nebulous.
But the fact that Hera was the thing that saved him in the end was an interesting kind of like, thematic choice.
I feel like you're making me hate it more.
Yeah, me too.
Are we gonna rewatch this movie?
No.
Not at all.
I
Yeah,
do.
on the scale of rewatchability, this is a 0.
Absolutely.
On the scale of rock movies, what do you put those at?
Oh, this is low.
Bottom tier.
Yeah, this is low. It's not as enjoyable as those goofy ass Fast and Furious movies, Hobbs and Shaw or whatever.
I like the Rock movie where San Francisco gets destroyed. That was
Listen,
pretty
I
awesome.
smell what The Rock is cooking, and I don't want to ever smell this again.
This smells like bullshit.
Rudy Poo candy
The,
asses.
the only good thing I can say about this is the
Jabronis. Bunch of jabronis.
Listen, jabroni.
Go back to Jabroni Hotel.
I'm gonna take this movie. I'm gonna turn it sideways. And I'm gonna shove it straight up your candy asses.
Nice. Give him the people's eyebrow.
Do you smell?
What the Rock is cooking?
He's cooking.
No, it wasn't cooking very
No,
hard.
it was not. It was undercooked. It was an undercooked
That's
fish.
good. I like that. Undercooked. This movie was undercooked, Rock.
It smells like yak pubes.
Terrible wig, terrible beard.
I gotta look into this yak pube thing.
I mean, he is muscular
pretty
as
funny.
F in this
oh
freaking
no,
movie.
that was when he was making this movie.
Oh, he's jacked.
He was social
Media?
mediaing it up.
Yeah.
And people were buying in. I think he got like 1 million follows.
Well,
Just from
I
this.
follow him.
Yeah.
You know that scene where he's chained up and he's like got to like break free and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
That was just one of his workouts.
He blacked out every time they did that take because he had the set decorators actually use real chains to like chain down. So like his struggle was real when he was like trying to break that thing out.
The struggle
And
is real.
They did like 8 takes of that, and each time he blacked out afterwards.
Nice.
But he was like, he went all method all of a sudden. He was like, I want it to look real.
When it comes to somebody picking up heavy shit, yeah, I think The Rock is going to go method
They
with that
have so
one.
many cameras on my muscles.
Yeah.
I need it to look real.
Hey, Brett, get a camera on my pec.
The Rock is legit.
He's awesome.
He is really tier 1.
I can
all
understand,
together.
like, if
But
somebody
he's-
came to him and said, oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, he's made a lot of mediocre movies, but that's just what he does. He makes a lot of movies that he shows off his muscles in.
Yeah, was this better than The Tooth Fairy?
Oh, I can't watch that. Yeah.
There was a whole point in Rock's
Yeah.
career where he was trying to make kid-friendly Disney movies.
Yeah.
This is one, I think.
What was there was one where he was like a quarterback or something, and he like had a little girl.
Oh, the
that,
gridlock chain or something. I
I
can't
don't know,
remember.
but
It was,
there's-
yeah.
Also, wasn't he like a taxi driver where he had like 2 kids and something about like a mountain?
Something on Witch Mountain.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Escape to Witch
Oh
Mountain.
yeah,
Yes.
well that was the Disney remake.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the Disney
What's
movie.
kind of amazing is when you think about it, is I think he started making movies in like 2000 and like 1 or 2 or something, right? When after Scorpion King came out.
So
Yeah.
like the
And-
Scorpion King was his
Yeah,
breakout, but
he's made a lot of movies.
he was in Doom.
Yeah.
His first
Oh, yeah.
his first big action movie was The Rundown, I think.
Oh, I love that,
That was
movie.
good.
That was a good
Yeah,
movie.
I like that movie. It was fun.
I'm down for a rock week. You guys want to do a rock week?
Sure,
Yeah.
we can do a
I'm
rock
in.
week.
I'm in.
Yeah.
All right.
We're gonna watch Hercules again.
God, no. I never want to see this movie
Or
again.
watch other shitty rock movies.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's it. That's our discussion for Hercules, starring Dwayne Johnson. Comment below what you thought of this movie, and let us know what you think. If we're on point, whose side of the table are you on? Me and Jude, or is it Kadish and Vader?
Well, I didn't give it exactly a good score.
No, but you were like, this is
2.5.
best out of the 3. That's nonsense. Well, she said that too. You guys are crazy. All right, we're gonna take a quick break. Listen to some sponsors. We'll be right back, and we're gonna get into the Immortals. Welcome back, everybody. Hey, if you want to support the podcast and get some awesome swag in return, like this awesome shirt and the one Vader's wearing over there, it's very controversial. Klingon Lives Matter.
Klingon Lives Matter.
And of course, the ever classic, what are you looking at, Dick Nose? And Matthew Cadish is wearing the Masters of Mastication. If you guys go to saltynerdstore.com, that'll take you to our store where you can find these shirts and many others just like it. And if you want to grab something, some of the money goes to us and you get to support the podcast so we can make even better content for you. Really appreciate it.
You get some cool t-shirts.
And also, our shirts are really freaking cool. Go through our catalog. We have a ton of them, and they're all a lot of fun.
The quality is really good. Like, it's super soft, and I love the way that it fits me.
Yeah. You can get the tri-blend up to a certain size. I go with the classic tees because they have a little bit more structure to them, and I like those. But yeah, we have a lot of good stuff. And
they have fat dude sizes.
Really cool. They have.
They have them in lady fit.
All kinds of cool stuff. So head over there and grab some swag. All right, the next movie on our list is Immortals, starring Henry Cavill.
Yep.
Man, he's come a long way. Jude, take it away.
All right.
What is this ridiculous movie all about?
2011 Immortals, rated R, with a runtime of 1 hour 50 minutes, with a budget of $75 million. Oh. What do you think that this brought into the box office?
150 million.
V?
I don't even remember this movie being out.
I do.
I really don't.
Go back in time to 2011.
Yeah.
This is around the time when Zack Snyder made 300 and everybody's like,
yeah, I know. I could tell as this was going through. I don't know. How much was the budget?
75.
I don't even know if this would have made its money back. I'm gonna say it broke even, got 75.
Okay. I regret to inform you that it made $226.9 million.
Wow.
What the fuck are you people spending money on? Why?
Henry Cavill's abs.
It was 2011, man.
It was a crazy time.
It was a crazy time.
Way back when.
Way back when people went to the theaters.
I'm going to give you the synopsis.
All right, go for it.
No god is permitted to interfere in the lives of mortals unless Zeus feels like it. In this box office turd vomit, the gods make up nonsense rules and then confusingly don't follow them and then kill each other and then fight together and then kidnap Thesius away from his unborn child after Zeus raped his mother and abandoned her.
Oh, come on. Zeus is a very rapey dude.
Leaving her to raise Theseus alone and scorned by her whole village. But he pretended to be an old man and then taught Theseus to fight. So, like, it's okay.
Wait,
discuss.
John Hurt is Zeus?
I fucking hate this movie. I hate this movie so fucking much. I needed to start drinking like 45 minutes in.
I'm really confused because
that far in.
John Hurt is Zeus?
Yes, he's old man Zeus. He's Zeus in disguise.
I thought Dracula was Zeus.
Dracula is also Zeus. He's young man Zeus.
What?
Okay, so the
Everybody is Zeus.
The John Hurt Zeus is Zeus in disguise as like Yoda, so that he can mingle without raising suspicion.
Oh, so Dracula comes down and pretends he's John Hurt. And
yes.
Okay.
Zeus is.
They did not explain that.
Listen,
I got that.
Listen, Zeus is fucking everybody, so there's got to be a lot of Zeuses.
Well, Zeus is
old man Zeus.
Listen, Zeus is a horny dude. That is the theme of the week.
I know.
Yeah. You know, so
yeah, he's banging everybody.
He always been. That was like 7th grade.
Like, let's not forget that also his dick is a god.
It's like I remember
very fertile.
Mrs. Dukes, my 7th grade mythology English teacher.
Mrs. Dukes?
This is her name, Mrs. Dukes. She the very first day of class, the first thing we're going to learn today is that Zeus is a very horny guy.
She said that?
No. I'm totally making it up. I'm trying to be funny here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was really excited that your teacher was going hardcore.
Like he could... Did you grow up with a Greek mythology teacher?
No, but
was your Greek mythology teacher actually Zeus?
In junior high,
in disguise as a Greek mythology teacher.
I took a mythology class.
She rape you?
Let him finish. Oh my god!
You can all suck a bunch of dicks. All right,
that's the theme of the week.
Move on.
What were you gonna say?
I don't know.
Okay,
I don't remember.
Tell me more about
Well, real quick. So to explain Vader's joke, Luke Evans plays the young Zeus in this movie, and Luke Evans was Dracula in Dracula Untold or Unbound.
Yeah, something Untold. Like that. Some other shitty Dracula movie.
Uncircumcised.
It was when they were trying to do the Dark Universe, like Marvel.
No,
or not Marvel. It was a Universal.
That was not a Dark Universe movie.
Well, it was trying to set up the Dark Universe. That was like their opening salvo for it before they actually committed to a Dark Universe.
And then they bailed.
I want to know why everybody lives in Indian cliff villages.
Oh God, there's so much questions I have about this freaking movie.
Yeah.
Why is the bad guy wearing like an angry vagina hat?
Yeah.
What is
Oh my God. It looked like it was out of Beetlejuice.
I know. It was
Yeah.
so ridiculous.
The whole time.
Mickey Rourke plays King Hyperion,
Yes.
and he looks like he has a rabbit helmet on the.
Yeah,
entire
it's
time.
got ears and then an angry vagina.
It kind of looks like a crab
Angry
claw from the side, but then it also looks like a Venus flytrap
It's so
from this
stupid.
front.
That's what really took me out of this movie. Like I like Henry
The
Cavill.
terrible costuming.
The terrible costumes.
Yeah.
Like this is some artsy fartsy dumb like over the top nonsense where they're like, we're going to be fancy and artsy about this Greek mythology. We're gonna have everybody wear really funny hats.
Yeah. King nobody gives a shit of please.
So stupid. So stupid.
Well, the funny thing about this is that they sold it on the fact that one of the producers, and it has like something like 12 producers on this movie, worked on 300, and it was like from the producers of 300.
Oh, get out of here.
that
And
explains.
the director that they chose for this movie, his name's Tarsim Singh, and he's really known for this hyper stylized visual impressionism. And when he was brought on board this movie, he was like, I want to use Renaissance paintings as my reference point for how the visual style of this movie is going to be. And so like he wanted it to look like a Renaissance painting come to life. And but I mean, like if you've ever watched The Cell or anything like that
Yeah.
with Jennifer Lopez, that was like one of his movies.
Okay.
And so like he's known for these like super hyper visually stylized, like he's kind of like the Indian version of Zack Snyder in a way.
Wait, what?
It's very artsy.
Yeah, it was very like minimalist, I think you could say. Like they take him to this like prison cell, but it's really just like a little oblong shaped building that's like very easily.
I'd call it more impressionistic than minimalist.
Okay. Whatever.
Well, sorry.
It's artsy. Like I said, artsy fartsy. It's just
It's very artsy fartsy. Yeah.
it took me out of it. Like there's moments where I'm like, wow, that's kind of cool. Like a couple of fight scenes really cool. I like Henry Cavill. He was doing some badass shit. The bow and arrow thing was dumb because he was like, he
Yeah.
was just shooting.
Wasn't this like Henry Cavill's first like picture that he was like the leading man?
I don't know, but I'm surprised
Yeah.
he survived this.
It actually might have been his first like solo.
Well, it was a hit.
It's amazing to me.
it was.
I can't believe that. It's crazy.
Yeah.
He did Man of Steel 2 years later after this.
Wow.
So you want to hear a funny story about Henry Cavill on this movie?
Ooh, fun
Oh,
fact.
yes, please.
Yes.
Go for it.
Fun fact me.
Yes. So basically, this movie started off independently financed before it got picked up by a studio. And the first time around, they cast Henry Cavill. And they're like, dude, you're going to need to have 8-pack abs for this movie.
You're gonna be naked 90% of the time.
Yeah, pretty much. And so he was like, okay, I can do that. And so he decided to get a trainer. And because they hadn't secured financing yet, he paid for it himself. And he started doing like not weights because he didn't want to put on muscle, but he'd start doing a lot of body weight exercises to kind of like sculpt his physique. And he did this for like 6 months. And then the producers came to him and was like, dude, the financing fell through. Sorry. Like you don't have to keep training, but once we secure financing, you're going to have to get back in shape again. And he's like, okay. So they find some financing and they come back to him and like, okay, Henry, you got to get in shape for this movie. He's like, okay. So he starts training again. And then the financing falls through after 6 months.
Oh my God.
And they're like, sorry, dude, like, you know, we lost our financing, but don't worry, we're gonna find more financing.
You're looking really good, by the way.
Yeah.
And so like this time around though, Henry, who'd been paying for this out of his own pocket, he just kept training.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm not gonna stop this time.
Because he was like, listen, people are paying attention to all of this.
at that point, it's a habit anyway. So you don't want to stop.
And so by the time this movie actually got off the ground, he'd been training for like over a year to have this physique. And they actually would put spray tan on him every morning before filming. And when he was, because like his skin's very bronze in this movie.
Yeah.
And every time he was on screen with Mickey Rourke went on and told people like this guy throughout the course of a regular filming day would do 2,000 push-ups. Like he'd do like a number of push-ups right before the cameras start rolling just to have like
nice swell.
Yeah. And
Swole.
do you guys remember when we did our our Predator review?
Yes.
Yes.
We talked about how like all the guys on that movie would wake up early and work out, and it was like a little competition to see like who could be like most swole.
Who has the most muscles.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Didn't he play a trick on Jesse Ventura? And he was like, he measured the tape wrong or
Schwarzenegger
something.
did,
Yeah.
Was it Carl Weathers? Or-
No, it was Jesse.
Was it?
Yeah,
Okay.
because he had an ego.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was a friendly rivalry between Jesse Ventura and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay.
And if you guys want to know what we're talking about, go check out our Predator review. I think it's audio only. It's one of our Schwarzenegger September.
Yeah, it was last year. My
Yeah.
God, it's been that long.
Yeah, but Henry Cavill and the rest of the cast, like Stephen Dorff and all these guys, because they had to be showing off their bodies like throughout this entire movie, like they were in like the friendly competition to have like the best like sculpted body. And every morning, Henry Cavill said he'd wake up and he'd look in the mirror and he'd get depressed because he's like, oh I can't see my veins in my abs today, you know, and like all this weird stuff. But like he trained for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week to get in shape for this movie, and he
It
looks
worked.
amazing.
Yeah, he
You
looks
can tell.
great.
You can tell.
Even like we're talking about Mickey Rourke, he's a really goofy guy. Whenever I see him in a movie, I can't help but see like the outside perspective of like this guy's a little nuts.
He's a little off.
But as far as a villain goes, I mean, besides
He makes a really good
he
villain.
makes a really good villain.
I thought
He's
he
sitting
was-
there, he's all grizzled. He's
I actually thought he was probably my favorite character of the movie, aside from his stupid armor.
yeah,
and,
the
and his Venus flytrap helmet with the rabbit ears.
angry vagina. Yeah,
Yeah, he sold his character really well.
yeah.
He's an evil, don't give a shit. I'm gonna
I
mess
missed
your
that.
world up.
I missed that.
Character.
I missed that. Like,
Throw him in the Iron Maiden, no problem.
dude,
or whatever that is. That
yeah,
what that
the
was called?
bull.
The bull
No,
was-
Iron Maiden is like
What-
a.
It was the Iron Bull, and it was
Yeah.
actually based off of
That's
an
a real
actual
thing.
torture device where
Yeah.
they would put people inside like this iron cage and then like put fire underneath it to cook them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was hard. That was cold. Well, not cold. It was hot, but it was really terrible. But that,
Barbecue.
yeah, but that scene where they're like they realize that there's somebody in there. That's why it's making all this noise. It's like the bull's mouth and nose was
Yeah.
like a horn that would like make noise when the people inside were screaming. That's a real thing too from back in the day. People were psycho back then.
They were.
This was another kind of Hercules type thing though, where a lot of the mythology had its roots in kind of like actual stuff, but even though they did go into like a lot of the theological like gods and men and stuff.
Yeah, I don't understand why they went full like Greek gods with the goofy hats and the ridiculous costumes.
Oh my God, those hats were ridiculous.
So ridiculous. Remember Poseidon's? It
Well,
was like
that
a
was-
giant fish or
That
something.
was
his
Kellen
scuba gear.
Luntz too,
God.
who played Hercules.
That was
in
his.
The
That was
Rival.
his scuba outfit.
So stupid. Anyway, the Minotaur, right? Is that how you say it?
Yeah,
Minotaur?
Minotaur.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they just go full mythology with that? Instead, they had a dude with like
That's
a
a good
barbed wire
question.
hat. Like, you have Greek gods and you have Titans. Just have a Minotaur.
Let's just go full Clash of
Let's-
Titans here. Let's
yeah,
do it.
let's-
Yeah.
that's
Because
what.
only the good guy gods could be gods.
Well, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but they really didn't pay any attention to the actual Greek myths in this movie. They kind of just did their own thing. Like for instance, Theseus, who's played by Henry Cavill in this. So originally he's the son of Poseidon, but they made it seem like he's the son of Zeus in this movie. And Theseus, he was the one who braved the labyrinth to fight the Minotaur, and so like he eventually became, I think, king of Athens. But there's all this great material with Theseus as like the hero of the Golden Fleece, stuff like that, and they just didn't use any of it and created like this completely weird. Like that mythological bow that's the MacGuffin for this movie that everyone's looking for.
Yeah.
That didn't exist. They just made that up.
Well, they
Of
stole
course.
that. They stole that from Dungeons and Dragons, the cartoon.
Yeah, and then like weirdly, for a second, I was like, so Zeus's children are all like, Dad really likes this mortal. So what are we gonna do about it? And for a second, I was like, oh, did they want to kill Theseus? And then it turned out they were helping Theseus, but then Zeus killed one of them because he was helping Theseus.
But then he came down
But
and
then-
helped him too. Yeah.
Yeah, it was so
Stupid.
nonsensical.
Well, the whole thing about the gods is they can't directly interfere with the actions of man.
Oh, you mean like pretending to be an old man and then training him to be a badass?
Well, you can influence stuff. Like for instance, when Poseidon like went into the ocean and created that tidal wave that saved those guys. So like you can do stuff like that, but you can't directly involve yourself as a god. Otherwise, that kind of undercuts the whole like taking stuff on faith thing, which is how the gods maintain their power is in the belief of mortals in them.
Please don't try and make me like this movie more.
There's nothing to like here. Dude.
Well, it's funny, like how you were all kind of surprised about how much money it made. But during this time, and we're going to talk about this with the Clash of the Titans too, is that a big thing that movies were kind of like relying on was 3D. And they actually shot this movie for 3D. And 66% of its profit came from 3D screenings, which had a higher ticket price.
Oh, Okay.
Tricky sons of bitches.
Yeah, I didn't go to a single 3D movie back then, other than
I don't think I did either.
Avatar.
But yeah, Avatar came out in 2009, and after
Yeah.
that movie made like $1 billion, everyone was like, "Oh, 3D's the thing," and so they were doing all these 3D movies.
I went and saw the 20th anniversary of Jurassic Park in 3D,
I bet you did.
and I went and saw The Phantom Menace in 3D, and those are the
Sorry.
only two
I'm-
3D
I'm
movies.
sorry.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. There's so many things that I'm like, this could be really cool, but it's so ridiculous.
This was just one of those movies where it was more style over substance, and the
Yes.
style was way off.
Yeah.
And like,
It was too hoity-toity. I'm going to make a art film here thing, and it just was. It's like, get over yourselves.
and even in their own storytelling, they didn't follow through with anything, and it didn't make sense. They were like, oh, they made a very big deal about the virgin oracle, and after she's defiled, her visions cannot be relied
But then
upon.
she boned
and
Henry
then
Cavill.
she fucks, Theseus, like immediately, and she's like, no, I sense and see, and blah blah blah, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, what about the whole thing? How you pop a dick in that and you can't trust it? What's up with
You know
that?
I really like that shower scene with the oil, though. That was pretty hot.
Well, Frida Pinto, who played the Oracle, the Virgin Oracle, supposedly.
anymore.
So she used a body double for all the nudity scenes. So that was not her, actually.
All the what?
Body double.
Shout out to the body double.
There's
then.
nudity scenes.
Yeah, when she was taking a shower.
Also, when she had sex with Henry Cavill.
Also, when she had sex with Henry Cavill. It was like a full. Yeah, you didn't.
Did I miss this part of the
Yes, there's a half a star you completely missed.
movie? You need to pull it up right now.
It was kind of like
no,
all
no.
shrouded in shadow.
There were no
Oh.
boobs, but there was definite butt.
Oh no, I got some nip in there.
A little bit of nip.
You got shadow nip.
Shadow nip. Yeah.
Well, now I'm disappointed.
But Vader makes a good point in that this movie is very style over substance, and,
For sure.
and that's why I kind of compare it to a Zack Snyder film. But the bad storytelling in this, for instance, the bow MacGuffin, like this legendary bow, it's just chilling out inside a rock inside the peasants' like burial chamber,
Which was also the labyrinth, I think.
maybe, but for some reason Henry Cavill like just decides to like take like a hammer and chisel and
He
like
gets like some kind of vision that the audience is not privy to.
yeah, and so like he like cracks open this rock and finds the bow, and then like immediately loses it when he fights the Minotaur. But then later on in the movie, so like they're trying to get this bow to the sanctuary so they can keep it out of Hyperion's hands. And one of the monks who cut off his own tongue to protect the oracle sees what they did to the oracle's 3 sisters when they put them in that bowl that they were cooking them in, and loses his mind, grabs a sword, and runs down into an obvious trap to get revenge. And this is a guy who, rather than because he can't take a life, even the life of his own, like allowed himself to be tortured, decides, okay, I'm going to go take a life now. And so like he runs down there, and Henry Cavill's chasing after him, literally yelling, "Stop, you're running into a trap." And as he runs into the trap with him,
Yeah.
and then he just trips and falls and loses the bow. And then like
Immediately.
a dog
Yeah.
a dog picks up the bow and runs away with it. And it was just like such a plot contrivance.
It was so infuriating.
It really was. And Mickey Rourke's character, King Hyperion, doesn't even use the bow. Like he uses it once to break open the gate, and then to open up the cage that the Titans are in. And throughout the movie, they're saying like Zeus is saying, like, we can't interfere unless the Titans are released. And it's like, well, maybe you could interfere before they're released to prevent that, because they literally kill like all the gods when they do that.
Yeah.
It was really strange.
I don't know, man. We have the movie playing next to us like we do when we're talking about all these things, and all I see is a wannabe 300.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
100%.
mean, they even like they just showed the scene where
He was fighting with
where
the spear.
Henry Cavill was fighting with the spear, going through all the soldiers.
Yeah.
It's a direct ripoff from 300 when all the
Well, it's from the executive producer of 300.
it's like almost beat for beat.
It looks the same as Leonidas going through
Right.
the, yeah, it's the
Yeah,
same
you
thing.
want to hear something funny? Is all the actors in this movie suffered from chest acne because of the waxing, except for Steven Dorff, because he's like, I'm just going to use an electric razor.
Sure.
Stephen Dorff looked great in this.
He really did.
Yeah.
There's the
Anybody who was like shirtless in this movie looked great. But again, like Mickey Rourke being this like over the top giant, like barrel chested evil guy, I was in. It was just like everything else about it was just blech.
Mickey Rourke looks great in a beard.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
But what's funny is Luke Evans, sorry.
Evans.
Luke Evans, who plays Zeus in this movie, played a different god in what we're going to be talking about next, which is Clash of the
Yes.
Titans. So like there's all this,
Ares in that
A lot
one.
of crossovers.
yeah, there's a lot of crossover between these three
All
movies.
of these people are in all of these movies.
Well, when you have a super fit like group of young actors, and you're like, we're going through like a Greek mythology phase.
Let's go ahead and cast him in
Let's
that
just-
next one before
yeah.
he fattens up.
Yeah,
Was this-
exactly.
What is that really shitty Egyptian god movie?
Oh, the one with Jamie Lannister.
Gods of Egypt.
Did that come out about the same time as this too?
No, this was later on. I
Yeah.
think that was around 2016, actually.
Was it? That was that much later?
That was a
Yeah.
CGI vomit fest.
Yeah, that was awful.
It was awful, but it had
But
cool,
but
had,
I
like,
kind of
cool snakes and
I
stuff.
kind of throw it in the same kind of chest as this
Mythology
movie.
movies?
Yeah, that was 2016.
Yeah, we went through. Yeah, we went
5
through.
years later?
There was a big phase of like.
Yeah, but like 300 was 2006.
Yeah,
right?
that's what started it.
And then this was 2011, and then the next one is 2016. So like they're all about 5 years apart. It takes about 5 years to like get their financing. And
Yeah, it's
get
funny
that thing
because
shot.
300 it still holds up. It's still good.
oh
yeah.
yeah.
I watch it. It's one of those movies that I just stop and watch.
Well,
if I
we
see
watched
on.
it for our Frank Miller week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think we all kind of agreed it's not as impressive now after having seen like it was the first time we'd ever seen anything like
Yeah.
that, and that was why it packed such a punch.
It was literally a comic book come to life.
Yeah,
yeah,
it was,
which was
I
the
really
first
enjoyed
time
it.
that had successfully happened, and
Well,
now
Sin City.
Did Sin City come out
Fine.
before that?
I think so.
Probably. Yeah, maybe.
Right around the same time,
Yeah.
right? We're going like through a Frank Miller phase.
20 years ago, whatever.
Has it been that long?
I think the
It's been a while.
success of Sin City led to getting 300 made.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that sounds right.
But I mean, I
Sin
watched.
City was just a year before, so they were probably already filming 300 while they were filming Sin City.
Anyway, like these types of movies for me, see guys like Gerard Butler just being freaking completely ripped, and Henry Cavill being like, these are the movies I watch. I'm like, man, I gotta go work out.
Yeah.
I want to get jazzed. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go lift up some heavy shit.
Yeah,
This movie doesn't do that.
I'm gonna go suck some dick.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, it was Greeks, right?
I thought we were talking about what these movies get us excited.
Jude, it doesn't sound as good when you say it because, you know,
Am I being too aggressive? Sorry.
what you do in your bedroom is your business, okay?
Kenny's just like, I love this movie. We watched it together. Oh my god. Sorry.
How did, we get,
Was that a vomiting reaction?
Yes.
how did dick sucking become the theme of the week?
It's just
It
a
was
bunch of
Alex's fault.
Good one, man. Good one.
thanks.
It's just I just watched this and I'm just like, God, I just really want to be teabagged by muscles.
I'm glad we have a patron blooper reel.
Yeah, if you guys want to know the story behind the dick sucking joke, go to the Patreon only, saltynerdclub.com.
Are we not leaving that in? I thought we were leaving that in.
Can't leave that in.
We might not even be able to leave this in.
Here, have a tissue.
Oh my god. Yeah, these movies like 300 make me want to suck a dick.
Man, that para of Sophocles really wants me to suck some dick. Yeah.
I thought we were leaving that joke in and it would tie in. But I gave you a tissue here.
Man, those virgin oracles.
Oral's moral, baby. You can still be a virgin.
And she felt the same way because she really wanted to.
Well, I mean, like if you were faced with Henry Cavill, do you touch it, not suck it?
No comment. All right.
Dude, I dropped down on it.
He's no Antonio Banderas.
This is true. This is true. Oh, Antonio.
Antonio Banderas.
Antonio
Oh, too
Banderas.
sexy. He's too sexy.
Jesus Christ. All right. Vader, final thoughts. Give it a rating.
1-star crap fest.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
This movie's crap.
Okay.
It's absolute crap. It's too much wannabe 300. The story is convoluted. It's just a weird movie, and I was so happy when it was finally over.
It did feel like 4 hours long.
It was awful. Yeah, just terrible movie.
Okay. Jude?
I 100% agree with my platonic life mate over here. I hated it so much, and I was so angry while I was watching it. And this is one of those movies that we've talked about. Like when I get angry while I'm watching something, that's what it takes for me to like 1-star crap fest something. I'm very stingy with my 1-star crap fests, and this is one of them.
Nice. Kadish, how about you?
So I'm a little bit more lenient on this movie than I think the rest of you are. I really appreciate Tarsem Singh's visual style. I like his imagination. I like kind of what he did with this. That being said, the script itself and some of the costume design stuff was pretty janky. Like anything, like every helmet Mickey Rourke wore was just stupid.
Or even the gods themselves.
Yeah,
The freaking giant.
And there's like a weird castration scene in this movie that really like
with
turned
the
me
hammer?
off. Yeah.
Yeah, that made my balls hurt.
Your bloodline will end here. And he just like smashes his nuts with it.
Yeah, like my balls like physically sucked into my body.
Mine did too. I don't even have.
Like they just.
And that was the guy from the Vampire Diaries,
That's
the originals.
close. Yeah.
It's like ow.
Yeah, I saw that coming, and like I clenched.
Yeah, it's like ow. That's just
He
so
just kicks his legs
Yeah.
apart.
And Mickey Rourke's character has this whole thing about like spreading his seed. So he's all about raping every woman that he sees. And
But he takes care to kill them himself.
Yeah.
When he's done.
Yeah.
This episode might get taken down off of YouTube.
Yeah.
Well, we're just talking about the movie.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
But I guess so.
But the so the story to this movie is really dumb. It's filled with a lot of plot contrivances. So I'm gonna have to give it just like, I don't know, 2 yak pubes out of 5. So
I'm gonna give this a 0.5 star for Henry Cavill's abs, and that's 1.5 for me. This is not a good movie. It wasn't as fun as 300, and the styling took me out of it more often than that kind of like impressed me, especially those ridiculous helmets. I can't say enough how dumb.
Oh yeah,
those helmets
the
were.
gods' helmets were really dumb.
Literally, like it was like huge, giant, spiky helmet. Dumb.
But you know, that's kind of Tarsem Singh's thing. Like he has a thing for really elaborate headdresses. Yeah.
We just don't understand the arts.
Yeah.
You know, there's really something to be said for like the cast is a very sexy cast.
Oh, yeah.
And this movie is not sexy at all. Even during the sex scene, it's not sexy.
I don't know what this mythical sex scene is that you guys are talking about. I must have like.
You fell asleep.
You don't remember when the Oracle had sex with Henry Cavill?
I don't. It must have, there was one part of the movie where I had to leave because the wife was hollering at me about something. That must have been.
That must have been it.
Must have been it. You missed the sex scene.
I was out of the room.
It was a
for
nice
like 2
perky
minutes.
butt.
She asked you to come suck her nose.
No.
That's a reason to leave the room.
All right, I'm ready. Come suck my nose.
My nose is ready.
Sweet.
I cleaned it. Got all black.
I just blew it out.
You guys are gross.
I tested negative for COVID.
Do you remember Hot Shots Part 2 where she's like, kiss me like you've never kissed me before?
Yeah.
She just kisses the nose.
Swallows her nose.
That's what Vader and Story do. Yeah.
Oh my God. All right. That's it for Immortals. Don't go watch this movie. It's terrible.
Yeah.
I don't even know what else to say. We're going to take a break. Once we're done laughing, we'll come back and we're going to talk about the last movie on our list is The Clash of Titans. Welcome back, everybody. All right, if you guys want to join us on our Discord server, go to saltynerddiscord.com. We have a whole bunch of publicly open servers there where we can chat about all kinds of stuff, movies, live streams. We do all kinds of fun things. And you get to join our awesome community over there on Discord. And totally not make offensive jokes in our Discord app. Never do that. So saltynerddiscord.com. Come join the awesome community that we have over there. All right. Last on our list is Clash of the Titans. The remake.
Yeah.
Jude, take it away.
2010, Clash of the Titans, rated PG-13 with a runtime of 1 hour 46 minutes. This had a budget of $125 million. What do you think this brought in?
$350 million.
Vader?
I'm only like 280.
$493 million.
Yes.
I guess it did get a sequel.
Score.
You ready?
I am.
All right, let's do it. The gods are super rapey dicks. No pun intended. And the people are sick of it. Leading a revolution against them, Argos revels in their rebellion, inciting the fury of the gods. Hades gives them a choice, which is hilarious because he's the only god that believes in choice, between sacrificing their beautiful princess or face the Kraken. On his way out, he reveals that Perseus is the son of Zeus, so obviously he's the only one who can save all of Argos. They need a plan to defeat the gods and save the princess, together with the Hound, the Onion Knight, and Hannibal Lecter. Perseus sets out on a quest to bring back the head of Medusa, another one of the gods' Me Too victims, and embrace his destiny. And the moral of the story is that if you're pretty, you're fucked by the gods. Literally.
Wow.
That was quite the
It's
synopsis.
a powerful synopsis.
Jude did not appreciate all
This
the
is
raping.
the least funny, campy rape I've ever been a part of on this
Listen.
show, and I'm upset.
It's no Deathstalker 2.
Right.
Granted.
Yeah. That rape had meaning.
I enjoy the hell out of this movie. Not because of the rape, but just...
I
it's
bet
a-
you did.
it's
I don't
a
remember there being
great-
any actual rape in this movie. It's all
Remember
implied.
when,
Oh, there's so much.
Zeus came in, disguised himself as the king, and was like,
Oh yeah, I
going
guess-
at
I
it,
guess
and
He
then
so.
got her
he does that.
killed,
Yeah.
and then the king was like the bad guy.
But there's
and this,
also-
he's still trying to kill Perseus.
There's also Medusa's backstory.
Medusa was like just a very pretty girl, and some god wanted to fuck her, and she like raced to another lady god. She was like, "Hey, protect me," and the lady god was like, "No, fuck you. You're too pretty. You about to get raped by this guy." So I forget who it was, rapes her, and then turns her into a snake monster for
Snake
the rest
monster.
of her life.
Okay.
And you know how her life ended? By getting her head chopped off.
By a man. Patriarchy.
well, okay, but besides all that, this is a fun adventure movie.
I like the original.
Okay, I haven't seen the original,
Well,
which stands for me because I've seen this, the remake before I saw the original.
I'm sure a portion of my anger directed at this movie is because I like the first one so much, and
Okay.
this is a trash remake. You can't say that. You never saw it.
I like this movie.
It's a good point.
She's kind of got you.
I like this movie. It's fun. It's got really cool CGI monster fighting, which is what I want in a Greek
the
mythology
cast is
movie.
insane.
The cast is amazing. Like you said, Onion Knight, the Hound, freaking Hannibal Lecter.
Of course, this was long before Game of Thrones, but there were like 4 Game of Thrones actors.
Did you catch the Hound though? Because it's quick.
Yeah. I saw him.
This was before Game of Thrones. So
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
it'd be around the same time.
2010.
When did Game of Thrones start?
It might have been the same year. Let me
Okay.
look.
I thought Game of Thrones started in like 2008. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Keep going.
Anyway,
Game of Thrones started in 2000.
so there was on our Discord server, we were kind of talking about Sam
Worthington.
Worthington. He was like Hollywood's go-to guy for action movies for a short period of
Not,
time.
not
Was
really.
he?
No, he wasn't.
Well, he
like,
was in,
like he's a guy who he was in Avatar, and so that made $1 billion.
Well, he could have been, but they kind of
Well,
petered out on
they,
it.
they tried to make him into a leading man, but audiences are just like, this guy's boring. We don't like him. It's the
Right.
same thing like Colin Farrell. Like he's just an Aussie version of Colin Farrell.
I like them both. See, I like these guys.
Well, I mean, like they're likable, but they're boring, and Hollywood tried to make them into like leading, like Tom Cruise, like Harrison Ford, and audiences were just like, nah.
Well, no, he's no Tom, Harrison Ford, but like
It's not grumpy enough.
yeah, maybe. But I like him in the movies that he's in, like Terminator Salvation. Like I think he's cool in that. I like this
For-
movie.
For like the first 20 minutes after he came on screen, I was like, that's the guy from Fast and Furious 2 with the hillbilly accent,
No,
right?
that's not him.
And it took, I had to look it up because Candace was like, that is not the same guy.
No.
And I was like, no, that's exactly the same guy. Like, where's his accent? And I had to look it up and I was like, oh my God, they could totally play twins.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
They're the exact same face. Hillbilly guy is less buff than this and also has the accent.
I think he, Sam Worthington?
Yeah.
Worthington.
Obviously, he's very famous.
He's very famous. I am terrible with last names. I think he plays like the reluctant hero really well. From my
Okay,
perspective.
yeah, sure.
When he's like, I don't really want to be doing this, but I have to because I don't really have much of a choice. He plays that version of a hero very well for me. And I know it's like a CGI, what'd you call it? Vomitorium?
Nah, that's not. We need to change that up. I don't like that word.
You don't like that word anymore?
I was really drunk when I came up with that. doesn't make sense.
Vomitorium?
Vomit fest.
Anyway,
I like
it
it.
is that, yes. But I think it's really well done. The gods look really cool.
No,
It's not stupid artsy fartsy like Immortals.
Yeah.
The creature effects are awesome.
So here's the thing: the CGI in this movie is really well done, and that's probably why I hate it.
Why?
Because I don't really know how to explain this. Maybe you guys can help me. I grew up on the original. Harry Hamlin is my Perseus. Ray Harryhausen made these monsters for me. It's just, I didn't ever want to see that movie remade. I think, and when they remade Clash of the Titans, I probably felt a little kind of like, why are they doing this? Well, it wasn't necessary. I don't hate this movie. For what they did, I think it's pretty and it looks good, but it's also not the original. The original to me is it's
Charming.
It's a charming, fun, mythological story that was just something that I watched probably 100 times, either on VHS or on TBS or DVDs. After a while, I've seen it 100 times, and it's just one of those special movies to me. And while this movie is okay and for what it is, it's never going to be that for me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
It'd be like if one of my favorite movies got remade. I'd be like, the
Yeah,
original's
if they
way
tried
better.
to do
Yeah.
a new Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Well, they kind of did, but yeah, with Jurassic World.
right. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how else to explain it.
But that's really your only gripe with this? Do you like specifically? Is there elements of this movie that you just don't like, or is it just because it's not what the nostalgia that you remember?
It's just not for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Jude.
Yeah.
I know you loathe this movie.
I really do.
Why?
I hated the Immortals more. To
Okay.
be fair.
Thank God. All right. I was gonna say.
Yeah, I did too.
But I agree with Vader. Like, I love the original, and I was raised on it. It was on TV all the time while I was growing up, and like, it may be one of my like first like girl crushes on the original Andromeda. I was obsessed with her. I wanted to be her. I wanted her hair.
She's beautiful.
She's beautiful. And the story is just like a fun, campy adventure story. And this isn't that. This is more of and I'm not sure if the mythology is more correct in this than it was in the original. But like they made it a point, like in the original, the bad guy,
Calabos.
the bad guy in the original was just some like, some cast-off lover of Andromeda. She rejected him, and that created him to become a monster. And it wasn't really that focused on. With this, like, there's just such a backstory with it, and it's also so glazed over that it really made me mad that Zeus pretended to be the king and then raped this woman. And through no fault of her own, her husband murders her and tries to murder her child. And then the gods saved the baby. Well, what about the woman that you just fucking raped? Like, you just ruined this whole family's life. And it's just so glazed upon to get to the moral of the story, which is the fun adventure. Well, at that point, it's not fun for me.
So you hated the setup.
Yeah.
You were mad at the movie for having a
Yeah.
really, really dark setup.
It can't be fun for me if you're like, by the way, this all happened from a fun, campy rape. No, fuck you.
I think that was the same story as in the original movie. It just wasn't as in your face about it.
But it's also right from like the mythology,
Yeah.
like the
the gods
the
are
original
Zeus
gods
was,
were
Zeus was a
pretty big
rapey dude.
assholes.
Yeah, what I learned this week is that I fucking hate Zeus, and
Yeah.
I don't think that was the thing that I needed to learn, because now I'm like, sorry, hope you're not listening, because obviously you're gonna come down and fucking ruin my whole family. But I think I hate Greek mythology, and I didn't know that before.
You didn't know that before? No, all the Greek
Yeah,
gods are
there's-
complete twats.
And all the heroes are demigods, which means they're spawn of
They're the Nephilim. Yeah, that's the Nephilim.
of-
Yeah,
some,
it's
Yeah,
all
yeah. They're the product of some rape.
yeah.
like pretty much across the board.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I feel like they made it a point to be a part of the story, but then glazed over it so much that it was just like, it was a part of the story, but not important enough to be important, and that made me mad.
Okay. What I'll give you, I think I agree to a certain point where like Zeus did this horrible thing.
Zeus is an asshole.
And then in revenge to this other guy who did something to him, he rapes and murders and kills this poor woman who had nothing to do with it. And then he's like kind of the good guy by the end of the movie. And you're like, oh, that good old Zeus, he's just here to help. Like,
yeah,
I get it. It was kind of goofy.
It's just a fucking dick swinging contest between Zeus and a bunch of mortals.
Really swearing today.
Also, like, Zeus is the one who basically said, like, yeah, release this unkillable monster to destroy all of humanity.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, it's a trick, and you're trying to usurp my throne. Okay, now I'm going to be on the side of the mortals. It's just kind of like Zeus is
He's a real
definitely
dick.
not a good guy.
No, he's not a good guy. So, Kadish, what did you? Because I know you said you like this one better than the original, but it's not like your favorite movie.
Yeah, I'm not in the Vader Jude camp here. Like, I don't think the original is all that good. I don't think this movie is all that good either, but I do enjoy it more than the original. But this is a film by a director named Louis Leterrier. He's a French director who did the like his claim to fame was The Transporter with Jason Statham.
Okay,
and he also was the director of the Netflix remake of The Dark Crystal.
okay.
He did every single one of those episodes, and he was also the cinematographer on that. Like, the guy's insane. he's a hardcore filmmaker, and I have a lot of respect for him. But there was a lot of studio interference with this movie, and there was a reason why he didn't come back for the sequel, and it was because like he was continually butting heads over the story of this movie that the studio was interfering with. But the biggest thing was that he originally wanted to make this movie in 3D because of, James Cameron and stuff like that. And so he wanted to shoot it natively in 3D, and the studio was just like, no. And then the studio, after the movie was shot, was like, you know what? We should make this in 3D because those movies are making more money. And so they did a post-production 3D conversion on this against the director's wishes because he's like, no, like,
I didn't shoot it that way.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. And so they spent like $10 million on the 3D conversion in post-production. And they actually ended up making like a lot of like changes to the movie to the point where Louis Leterrier was like, this isn't my movie anymore. And, I kind of disown it. And so I kind of wonder, like, if we ever get like a director's cut of this movie, what was the stuff that the studio kind of meddled with and what was the original vision behind it. But overall, like the movie, I feel is just like, it's basically the Dirty Dozen. And, it's a absolutely insane cast. Like, there are so many recognizable actors in this movie who just play like really minor roles.
Yeah.
And, they all end up dying. And by the time you get to the Kraken, you're just kind of like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I really don't. So overall, like, I feel like this is a very meh movie, but it was the best of, Hercules was the best of the three that we watched. And I feel like this was like the middle one, with Immortals being like the least good.
This is the Jan Brady.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I agree.
I disagree.
Release the Leterrier cut.
No, I think I was just on board with the adventure of it all. Like you said, the Dirty Dozen aspect where they had all these warriors all to come together, and you had your main character going through this kind of hero's journey where he's reluctant and he doesn't want to go through with it. Then he does, and he's refusing all the gifts that the gods are giving him, and then eventually he gets to the point where he's like, fine, I'll use it. And he goes and he saves the day. I think the Kraken had like 2 minutes of screen time. So it wasn't like the big bad. The big bad was just the whole story in general. There was no like main villain except I guess Hades, but they didn't actually fight Hades.
Hades was my favorite part of this movie.
Yeah. Voldemort.
Yeah.
I like the bad guys.
The bad guys are cool. But I'm in for the adventure, man. I thought the spectacle was really fun. Fighting the giant scorpions in the desert was really cool.
See, I thought that was stupid.
Oh, I liked it. I was in. I'm
Those two guys with all the axes and shit.
Yeah. I like they were quirky little characters. If you don't take us with you, you're gonna die.
Well, like the weird thing is that Io, the immortal woman, so in the original Greek mythology, she was like Perseus's great grandmother or something like that, and a former like lover of Zeus. And I think in this movie they changed it so like the gods raped her and then cursed her with immortality or something like that. I don't know if they raped her or not.
Probably. But, it's a safe bet to say they did.
Yeah, probably. but
Listen, nobody's getting out without a whole rape.
But in this movie, she's the one who looks after Perseus and kind of like, guides his upbringing. And in this movie, so in the original, Perseus ends up with Princess Andromeda.
Well, there's a love story there. Like right from the beginning, he falls in love with her. And then the queen says, if you can save her, I will give her to you in marriage. And they fall in love. And in this one, it's implied that he's falling in love with Io. And then, spoiler, she dies. And then he's like, what are you doing? To Andromeda. It's super weird.
It's okay, I saved you.
Well, doesn't Zeus bring her back to life at the end?
Yeah, he does. And this goes back to the studio interference because originally Perseus is supposed to end up with Princess Andromeda in this movie. And the studio wanted to push the actress who was playing Io a little bit more. Mm-hmm. And so like they were like, we're going to make her the love interest at the end. And so I think that was one of the studio decisions, and that like, this is who we want the main character to end up with. And that's what they ended up going with. But it was kind of funny because when they did the sequel, the actress who played Io was just like, I don't want to come back for this. And so like they killed her off screen before the second movie starts. So there was a lot of weird stuff.
I kind of want to go watch
on.
the second movie.
I don't know. I'm in for the spectacle of this one. I think my favorite scene has got to be the fight against Medusa. I thought that whole giant maze, the way she was like cackling in the background and laughing, and they're all like trying to. I had a ton of fun.
She deserved her vengeance.
Sure.
My favorite scene is the one where Hades confronts the Argosians in the throne room.
Oh, and he goes full like Last Crusade on that one chick.
Yeah.
What is more beautiful than death?
Yeah.
And her face just melts. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite scene.
Man, I'm in. I love that kind of stuff. I don't know. I had fun with this movie. You guys are crazy.
I just
listen. If everyone in the room is crazy except for you, it probably means they are wrong.
It's like I understand where you're from, and normally I'd probably be right there with you.
Yeah.
I just have some hardcore nostalgia goggles on for the original.
Okay.
I mean, it's
I gotta watch the original. I gotta see what you guys are talking about.
If you can't, if I rank my movies by as many times as I've seen them, the original Clash of Titans is easily top 10.
Wow.
Just because it was on so much in my childhood.
Should we have a watch party?
I think it might be a good for retro rewatch.
Yeah, it would be a good retro
But,
rewatch.
but they had the mechanical owl callback in this movie.
And that kind of pissed me off because it was bullshit.
Either make it a part of the story or don't have it in there at all. Don't give me a fucking nugget.
Because they were very disrespectful to him.
Oh, because he just like looked at him and then threw him. Like, what is this garbage?
Yeah, he was a big part of the original
Imagine
movie.
picking up R2-D2 and being like,
fuck this.
Oh, you mean like the sequels?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Sam Worthington hated that mechanical owl, and like he kept threatening to like break it when the director wasn't looking.
Of course.
There's no reason for that.
You know, the best thing
Sam Worthington, I'm coming for you.
Yeah, how's the career going, buddy?
the best thing to come out of this movie was the release of the Kraken memes.
Yeah.
Speaking
of the Kraken,
I feel like that's the only reason why you wanted to watch that.
This movie? No, I don't give a shit
because
about
of the
that.
memes.
No, I'm not really into the.
You know, my other character I like is a small character in this movie that I really liked.
Yeah.
Was the crazy priest.
The crazy priest.
Oh, the diaper guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Asshole.
He sold it.
Oh,
that guy was really into this role.
Yeah, he looks like a Skarsgård, like Floki.
Yeah.
He kind of looks like him,
Floki.
but
Oh,
he's not
okay.
him. He's not him.
Yeah.
Well, the actor definitely sold the role because I
Yeah.
hated him.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
From the minute I saw him on screen, they like had that the crowd parted ways, and you see the diaper dude, and you're just like, ugh, dirty hippie.
Yeah.
he had that weird Nestor eyeball painted on him.
Oh God, I hate that guy. Instant hatred.
Well, you're supposed to.
I know. They did a good job. But the other thing too is like the Kraken. Like it's that scene where they're coming in, the Kraken's coming out of the water. Just the way they did the perspective to make this thing look larger than life.
Oh, it was huge.
I did like the Kraken.
It was so cool. And then when he throws Medusa's head in front of it, and it's just like.
And I liked how like the time it took for that to affect the Kraken.
Yeah.
I liked. If it had just been instantaneous,
It wouldn't have been as fun.
It wouldn't have been as fun.
Yeah, like because it was so massissive that it just like it started spreading and it slowly slowed down.
like a rash.
No, like I said, I 100% agree with you on the spectacle of this thing, and the CGI is pretty good for the most part, but it's just I just can't.
You know what else I loved? I loved the little stone guy with the blue eyes.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
what those
It was
guys.
like-
the gin.
It was like
Jin.
Korg, you know. Hey guys, my name is Korg. I'm made of stone, and I'm kind of the leader around here. And don't worry, I'm not going to pose a threat unless you're made of scissors. It's just,
How did he suicide bomb Medusa with
I think
his?
he blew his heart up.
Heart.
Yeah, it was just a power they have. I mean, granted, it was not set up at all, but
I was just like, who's this guy?
yeah, it was just he's like a wizard.
But
witch
I
guy.
did enjoy up until that part where she was like trying to like turn him
Oh,
into
yeah.
stone, and he's like laughing at her.
This is so cool. I love that guy. He's cool. I think he deserved a bigger role, more speaking lines. Anyway,
I felt like he was a bit of a Deus Ex Machina, especially when the huge scorpions were attacking.
100% with you there. Yep.
Yeah, they just kind of came out of nowhere and was like, "Stop, scorpions!" Scorpions were like, "Okay, I guess we'll go fuck off now."
I do like the two little guys that ended up commandeering the scorpion. They reminded me of the brownies from Willow.
Yeah,
They were like, oh, hey, we're here to be funny.
It's like Winnie and
And it
Squiggy.
worked.
all right. Man, you guys
here's
are.
Jude's favorite scene of the movie.
Oh yeah, the rape scene. Look at that hairy man with his gross ass mullet. That dude, I know that actor. He's in a ton of movies.
A lot of Guy Ritchie movies.
He is ugly. He is a fugly dude.
Fugly.
It's just every time I see him, I'm like, you are not blessed with that one, man. That was just
But man, he's making work for him.
yeah, I mean, it's great. You know, it's the thing is like you can either be like super freaking perfect, gorgeous, like I don't know, Ryan Reynolds or something, or you can go the other end of the spectrum and just be like really unique looking.
Yeah, why aren't I like a millionaire in Hollywood?
You're right somewhere
Too
in the
good
middle.
looking, man. Too good looking.
Too good looking.
Anyway, all right. Well, I guess
he was Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. in
Yes.
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
yes, also a very ugly character.
and he also plays kind of a monster in this movie too.
Mhm. All right. Well, you guys are kind of low energy on this one, so I'm just going to do final thoughts. Vader, you kind of already said it, but what do you give it for a rating?
So what would I go? 1-star crap fest for Eternals or Eternals?
Immortals.
Immortals.
We haven't seen Eternals yet. See, 2.5, 1.
Better or worse than Hercules?
Oh, worse. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna go 2 stars. Yeah,
All right.
2 stars.
So it's Hercules, Clash of Titans, Immortals.
Yeah.
That's fair. All right.
Same.
Jude, same.
Hercules, this, and then Immortals. Immortals made me angry while I was watching it. I didn't get as angry until I started talking to you guys about it. With
You
this,
went off on the whole rape thing. You were real
I'm
mad about
fucking
that.
sick of it. So I give this 1.5 rapes out of 5.
Wow.
So you only get 1.5 rapes. Lucky day.
I can't wait to see the
Mimosas.
5-star rape movie for Jude. Woo.
I'm sorry about
So
being insensitive to rape.
you can't talk
Also,
about
I'm sick of it.
you can't
in
talk about
movies.
Greek mythology without talking about rape.
You can't.
You just can't.
It's
It's part of the culture.
in the fiber of the gods.
Yeah, I guess I didn't realize that. I've never really done a deep dive into Greek mythology, and now that I guess
They're terrible.
know more, I'm like, wow, these guys are all dicks, and I
Yeah.
think I hate this whole genre.
Yeah, it's also like if we had just watched one of these movies, it would have been like, oh, okay, whatever, or a rape. But we
Yeah.
watched like 3
It's like
mythology
A
movies.
full week of rape.
Yeah, it really was.
That's the word of the day. Rape and dick sucking.
Dick sucking.
We're so
They kind of
This-
go hand in hand.
This episode is so getting demonetized. Kadish, final thoughts. Give it a rating.
I can appreciate the effort that went into this movie. I don't think it's a good remake, but it wasn't a bad movie. I'd have to give it like a solid 2 robot owls out of 5.
How dare you? I thought you weren't allowed to reference the owl.
He can do whatever he wants. He's Matthew
Yeah.
Gatish.
Oh wow.
He has a blue check mark.
Yeah, I don't know if you knew this.
He's very
I'm
important.
gonna get you a hat with a little
blue check mark.
blue check mark
Yeah.
on a spring just bouncing around. That's gonna be it. Okay, I'm gonna give it. I can't remember what I gave Hercules. Was it a 1 star? They're both 1 stars, right? Hercules and
I think
Immortals.
you did
1.5 maybe.
Yeah.
You gave Immortals 1.5.
That's right for the abs and boobs. This is
Shadow nip.
probably a light 3 for
Ugh.
me.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, not like a holy shit, this is a 3-star. No, this is like, yeah, it's 3. I had fun. I'm sorry.
I'm.
Y'all hate
Not
me.
a
Jude
solid,
hates me.
I'm cool with
not
that.
a solid 3, but a hanging on by a thread 3.
Yeah, hanging on.
It's like a Sahara 3.
Sure.
Like a touch it, don't suck it 3.
Second touch is yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's a
You
light
touch
3.
it with this movie? Fuck you.
would this movie have been better with all right guy in it? Maybe
As the main
Matthew
character,
McConaughey?
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
What if Matthew
He's not angry
McConaughey
enough.
was diaper guy?
Yes.
And Sam Worthington's character was played by Timothy Zahn.
No.
No. Lucas Black from
No,
Too
no.
Fast, Too Furious.
No. Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson?
As Perseus, yes.
Oh, wow.
Wow. He looks up at the Kraken. Wow. That's so stupid.
Wow.
No, I like Sam. I think he's cool. He's a good, like, reluctant hero action star. I like a lot of the movies he's in. He's got enough grit and just like, ugh, I don't want to be here vibe that I kind of buy it. So I'm all right with
I like how the entire movie he's like, I'm never gonna use anything from my father, and then like he just uses
is
stuff
like,
from his father constantly.
His whole arc was having to embrace his
rapey
history.
father.
Yeah, his rapey destiny. And then doesn't he ultimately, according to the mythology, become like kind of rapey himself?
Probably.
No,
No,
that's Theseus.
no, he
but
doesn't.
never mind.
I don't know. I wouldn't doubt it.
I don't think Theseus does either. I
Isn't he
think all the demigods.
Isn't he like the abductor of women or something like that?
Well, Hercules, like actual Hercules history is pretty dark, as far from what I understand. He was
Super.
not.
That's the one I like the
He's
best.
like not a nice guy. They play him up.
We should watch the
The
Hercules movie.
the one that bombed? Yeah, let's
No,
watch that one.
no,
see if
the
we
old
like it.
TV show?
the Ray Harryhausen one
from the 90s?
Can we just watch Deathstalker?
Yes. All right, guys. That's it for today. Thank you for joining us. Comment below what you thought of these movies, or what's your favorite Greek mythology movie that we haven't talked about yet. And if you're new here, thank you for supporting us. Don't forget to like and subscribe and send this video to your friends and let them know how cool we are.
Maybe not this one, though.
Maybe not this one. Just pick another one. There's-
We have way better episodes.
Anyway,
a lot less rapey episodes.
if you guys want to get like we say some things we can't say on YouTube, go and become a club member where you get.
Not like this one at all.
Which one of you guys is editing this one?
I think that'll be me.
He's funnier than I am. When it comes to editing, he does things that I'm just like, why would you do that? But
You
then
mean like understand humor and comedy?
yes,
Can I throw in a "fuck you, Will Wheaton"?
Of course.
Will that work? Okay, good.
I haven't seen that part yet. I need to go watch that. It sounds hilarious. Anyway, become a club member. You guys get access to 4 exclusive episodes every single month where we talk about movies. We go full like spoiler, raw, unfiltered. We go off on some things. We have a lot of fun. And of course, you'll get our backlog of the Patreon material, which is just huge. We have 2 years worth.
If you
of stuff.
think what we just said here was bad, wait till you see what's in the Patreon.
That doesn't sell it. Don't tell them about bad things they
don't know.
get.
I don't know. We were pretty good earlier. The Antarctic talk, that was pretty hard.
that was.
that was pretty classic stuff right there.
That's gonna go down in history.
We go to the moon and Antarctica.
Anyway, support the podcast so that we can do this full time and hopefully make excellent more content for you guys to check out. And you can join our Discord community where we have a ton of fun talking with our other club members, and we do watch parties and video games and all kinds of fun stuff over there as well.
Discord is really fun.
Oh yeah, I've been building it. It's like my own little universe,
Like a god.
like a god.
Like
Like
a
your own
less
little
rapey.
pyramid in the Antarctic.
Yes. Wait, what? Vader, where can they find you on the socials, and where can they buy that fantastic shirt?
My Klingon Lives Matter shirt. Yeah. This is a great shirt.
You're welcome.
I'm going to wear it to the con next year.
I hope you do.
I'm totally doing it. I'm going to get some looks.
Yes.
You can find me at MattVader74 on the Twitter, the Instagram, and the TikTok and the things. And also at salty_nerd on Twitter as well.
And Jude, where can they find you?
You can find me at I am Jude Juju on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And you can find my shirt at our store, saltynerdsstore.com.
There you go.
Oh, nice. Nice plug.
Yeah,
That was
see,
good.
she's professional.
That was really good.
Matthew Kadish, where can they find you at?
You can find me at Matthew Kadish, Kadish on Twitter, and Kadish Books takes you to my Amazon page. And if you like this show, you get way more of it at saltynerdclub.com.
All right, guys, I'm the host. You can catch me exclusively on our Discord app. Go to saltynerddiscord.com. There you can chat with us anytime you'd like, and we will be there. Also, follow me on Instagram. And
His Instagram is fire.
dude, I have a lot of fun doing Instagram. It's way more fun than TikTok. Not TikTok. It is way more fun than TikTok,
A
but
lot of fun on TikTok.
I know you're better at that than I am. All right, we're gonna get out of here, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget, like, subscribe, share the video, and as always, stay salty, my friends.